comedian, writer.
I'm Ron Bush, comedian, writer, and homosexual.
I'm Mike Muratori, creative producer, writer. Actually, creative producer, actor, stand-up comic.
Oh, that's right. I'm a stand-up comic too.
Devil worshiper.
Devil worshiper. And here's our two guests today. Cody, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hey, my name is Cody La Scala.
Hello, my name is Cody La Scala.
And this is my lovely fiancé.
And this is my lovely fiance,
Monica.
Montgomery.
First of all, thank you guys for being on our podcast. This is our second episode of You Think You Got Problems and Tales from the Pandemic. And so first of all, thank you very much for being on it. For everyone who saw the first episode, we were interviewing Kenny Lyon, and he was talking about how I almost choke slammed him up against the wall, and there was somebody in a wheelchair that started to run him over. And so that person is before you right here, my boy Cody. And after that incident, I told everybody Cody is my favorite person in all the world. Cody, I'd like you to kind of tell the people what was going through your mind when he was saying those offensive things. And understand, Kenny's part of Kenny's stand-up was, I hate fags, I hate women. I hate Jews. And then he started to heckle Cody, okay, who had been doing stand-up now for 6 months. So, Cody, go ahead. I just need you to give that little setup.
You were taking him outside.
Okay, so when you were taking him outside, I've got to bring some. I'll be the backup. And yeah, the rest is history. You feel awful about it? He said, I feel awful about that.
He shouldn't have. I love Kenny, but he should have ran him over. He would have did him a favor.
He tried to, but he was up against the wall. He was literally up against the wall, and I felt my legs started to go out from under me, and I turned around, and Cody is there ramming him with the wheelchair, you know? And
that's hilarious.
In the defense of Kenny Lyons, though, you know, when we had him on last week, towards the end, he started understanding what he did wasn't totally right. So, in his defense, he came to that conclusion.
Yeah, he apologized. So you know. He's good.
That is very true. That is right. Thank you for saying that. And Cody, you know, me and Cody had met. That was like we had met a few days before that. And, you know, because he's disabled, he's learned to communicate. The way he communicates with his eyes and everything is so expressive. And when I look down and you're ramming him with the wheelchair, and you gave me that sly fucking look like, yeah, nigga, here it comes. I lost it. Now, and then you pulled the blackest thing I've ever seen. He started sprinting down the sidewalk in his wheelchair. How fast does that thing go?
It goes pretty fast, depending on the setting. He said, okay, I have another hilarious story.
Let's go.
This black guy was calling me Timmy, like off of South Park, at the grocery store.
Okay.
You should let me tell this story. I'll tell it. So I came out of the grocery store and Cody is running over this guy's bike with his wheelchair. I thought he was stuck on it because I'd been in the store and didn't know what was going on. And I was like, Cody, why are you running over this bike? Like, what the fuck? And Yeah, he's like, the guy was making fun of me. So then I yelled at the guy a little bit and told him that he should feel good about himself, and he had a Tootsie Roll sized dick. You're gonna make fun of a disabled guy. You must have a small dick. That's in my opinion. If that's what you've got to do with your time to make yourself feel better about yourself, is make fun of somebody with a disability.
We're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work on this road rage.
So first of all, Monica, how did you guys meet?
Okay, I saw Cody interviewed on the YouTube channel Special Books by Special Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him a message on Facebook, but I didn't answer his. So then we were Facebook friends, and he kept calling me on Facebook Messenger for 2.5 years before I would answer his phone call.
Wow.
Wow.
So then I answered his call. We started dating, and then I moved out here last April.
Wow.
Cody's got
engaged in
game.
August.
Cody's got better game than you do, Mike.
Cody's got more game than 98% of the comics we know.
Cody's got game.
Show the ring. He wants me to show you my ring.
Wow. I love
I
it.
love it.
I love it.
Thank you. So
Hey.
that's
You
how we
can track
met.
too, nigga.
Hey.
So you've known each other now for, it sounds like 4 years, 5 years?
Probably about 4 years. Yeah.
Right on. That's amazing.
We
That's
would
amazing.
talk to each other before I would answer his phone call. Like I would go on his lives when he would go live, and we would like kind of message a little bit and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was living in Wyoming at the time, and I didn't think anything was like ever gonna happen. So. And then you did what? And then you slid into my DMs. That's what you said. You slid into my DMs.
Oh.
His DM game is tight.
Yeah.
He's got some skills.
Cody, listen, I'm trying to tell you, Cody's a charming motherfucker, man. You know what I mean? First of all, he's got anger issues like I do. You know what I mean? And this is the second time he's almost running the motherfucker over. So that means he's a serial running the motherfucker over type of dude.
I would pay him to run people over. That's hot.
I love it. I love it. I'm taking Cody to every bar that I go to. You know what I'm saying?
We got to strap a gun to his wheelchair. We got to strap some weapons. We got to trick out. We got to trick out his game.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to Cody? What was it that was like, you know what? I'm gonna move out.
No, I'm not saying that. He said it was his big dick, but I hadn't seen it at that point. So it was actually what he said in his interview. I really liked what he said in his interview. He had some like really good things to say, and I liked his personality, and I thought he was handsome.
And his big dick was the closer, right?
Yeah, that was
the big dick sealed the deal.
Yeah. So your new nickname is Big Dick Cody, basically.
Big Dick Cody, Big Dick on wheels.
Big Dick on wheels.
Big Dick on wheels, Cody.
Yeah.
Cody, Big Dick on wheels. 4-wheel.
Instead of meals on wheels, it's Big Dick on wheels.
Big Dick on wheels.
What could be Meals on Wheels.
It is Meals on Wheels.
So to all the comedians out there bitching about how you can't find a beautiful wife, girlfriend, and get laid, you do got some fucking problems, right? You know what I'm saying? My boy
You need to call us, and we need to help you because you got some issues, man.
So the question is, and I guess I'm going to pose the question to both of you. What do what do you think are the biggest problems that you guys face, as you go about your day, here in Hollywood and all that?
One of our biggest problems that we face, like during the day, during the pandemic?
Yeah.
Basically boredom.
Or otherwise.
Life in general.
In life in general. I would say getting good caregivers, getting good help is really hard because I am one of Cody's caregivers. I'm also in school full time. So trying to find quality
And
caregivers.
what do you, Monica? What do you go to school for?
I'm going to school to be a speech language pathology assistant.
Wow, that's the
Wow,
shit.
that's big.
Yeah.
Now,
That's fucking amazing.
since you've been working
And,
with
then,
him, what?
and Cody's just supposed to be a big dick gigolo.
Yeah.
That's funny. Since you've been working with Cody, though, are there any laws that need to be passed to help the situation that's sitting in Congress?
Absolutely, because you want to take this one? Okay.
I can this is the okay.
Well, just answer the question.
That's what I was thinking.
I have to tell him that a lot. Okay, answer the question.
I can not make money at all if I get cut.
So he can't make any money because of it. He's on SSI. And so he wants to get off SSI, but if he makes any money, they take that portion of money that he makes out of his SSI, so he can't get ahead. So that's a really big problem for him. He wants
that's
to get
terrible.
he wants to get off SSI, but they almost make it impossible.
Wow.
Another problem that we
you.
faced was me moving here. The building that he lives in did not want me to live with Cody because I don't have a disability. And so it was almost like they didn't think that because he has a disability, he had a right to have a fiancé and have a normal life.
Wow. That's deep.
That was a
let me tell you-
very huge fight that we had to fight to get me to be able to even live with him.
So how did you guys overcome
I
that?
could send Mike Morito over there. He trains people how to kill. You know what I mean? We can. You know, he's a professional fighter. This guy. He can go ahead and have a conversation with your landlords if you ever need that.
They
Well,
don't
what
need Mike.
we did
They
was
got
we
road
went
rage.
to legal aid, and so the first thing we did was we became domestic partners,
Cool.
and then we ended up undoing that because they tried to like quadruple our rent, and so now I am Cody's live-in caregiver. That's how we're working it because I am his caregiver.
Yeah.
And I do live with him, so that's how we're doing it now. Is I'm labeled as Cody's live-in caregiver.
Wow. And you're mentioning the incident with the person in the grocery store, and then you have Kenny. You know, do you experience discrimination a lot?
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, people will take advantage of handicapped people constantly. People don't know that.
They don't believe that I'm his fiance. They think that I'm his sister, his cousin, his mother, his caregiver. Because even when we're holding hands or like kissing out in public, or people like if we have videos where we have kissed on a video, people are like, "Ew, I can't believe you're kissing him like that." And I'm like, you know, this is who I choose to be with, and you don't have to watch this video. You can turn it off. But
Right.
you know, so I think a lot of that with society needs to change. With people with disabilities, they need to be treated like everybody else that has the same rights to have a relationship and a life and a job and everything.
Yeah, it's interesting how people go to the worst possible place with this rather than the best possible place.
They do.
Like
That's
I'm on your side. Like I find that ridiculous because my mother used to teach the handicap, and I think your relationship is amazing because you know most women that I meet, the level of like, how do you say, like superficialness, it's like hilarious. Like what they're looking for is so ridiculous, and they're never going to ever find that person. What I find interesting about you two is how like you're opposite, but you're not that opposite because you guys actually get along really well. And I think if anything from this video today, I hope people can see that is how like kind of love kind of love conquers all in a weird way.
It does, and
Absolutely.
I was through some very abusive relationships before I got with Cody, and I think that changed what I was looking for in a person. I wasn't looking for somebody that was. I was looking for somebody that treated me good, honestly.
Right.
Well, can you do
That's
me a
why me and
favor?
Mike aren't dating, because Mike's abusive.
With you, that's not what I was looking for.
Can you do me a favor though? Can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Can you next time Mike gets a girlfriend, can you work with her so she'll know how to work? So she'll know how to work with their handicap.
I'll try.
I promise you,
said you
everybody
asshole.
Mike is dating is beyond help.
My dating is beyond insane. It's beyond. You have no idea.
And Cody, the other day we were talking about disabled representation in TV and film. Speak to that for a little bit.
I wrote a film, and so he may have an opportunity. Do you want me to say that? And so he may have an opportunity to get it published. He found out the other day in August by a company.
That's very
Congratulations.
So he's looking forward to that.
Congratulations.
They agreed at least to take a look at it. So he's having his friend Danny help him get it polished up.
Okay.
I think one of the things that affects Cody, and one of the reasons why people will not give him a chance, is because of his speech. And they don't want to take the time to do the effort that it would take to have him understood on screen, like subtitles or something like that.
Gotcha.
I think him and I have talked about that, and I think that's a big obstacle. And I don't think it's fair, but I think that's the reality of it.
Well, to help you and Cody, I think the best way to go about it is create your own stuff.
I agree.
Because once he sells enough product, all of a sudden, if he's making a lot of money, they're going to forget the fact that he's handicapped, and they're going to work around it because they're all about cash.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I would actually shoot a short called Road Rage. I think that shit would be hilarious.
I think that's the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. Him just running people over.
Hilarious.
I would become part of that. I would help with that. I would become part of that whole thing.
You're down. He said he's down.
And Cody, at the end of it, you can pull your dick out and show everybody. Just start wiggling around like this, you know?
Ron, don't threaten Ron with a good time, Cody. Do not threaten Ron with a good time. It's like feeding a tiger. You don't want to do that, kid.
And of course, Ron would come out with, show your dick at the end.
Yeah, and Ron would be dressed in like a tiger costume. Like a crotchless tiger costume.
Ron would want a close shot, kind of, he want to really zone in on it. Yeah.
So, Cody, are you blazing over there?
He is.
Oh my God, he getting high.
I love this.
He got a better life than Cody. He got a woman. He getting high. He can run people over, don't get in trouble. Who got it better than Cody right now?
I told you, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite people. Period.
Ron, you have a gift of getting the best guests.
So here's a question. Hey, Cody, here's a question. So a lot of times nowadays, if they have a Mexican role on TV and they get a white person play it, people get upset. So in your case with handicap roles, do they hire people that are handicapped, or do they hire people that aren't handicapped to play the handicap roles?
Both. But not enough, right? Not enough the disabled. A lot of times they're still putting.
No.
He calls them, as Cody says, they put able-bodied people. They can put an able-bodied where a disabled person should be.
It's true. They don't want to pay the insurance. That's why they do it. It's very true.
Hey, Cody, just run those motherfuckers over. You know what I'm saying? You injure them.
I'm gonna put flamethrowers on Cody's chair and a machine gun, and it's all gonna be good.
Hey, his nickname's gonna be Hit and Run. That's gonna be Cody's name. Hit and Run. BD, Cody Hit and Run. Yeah.
We're gonna put a turbo engine on that wheelchair,
and some little wings, on the side. You know, I had mentioned to you, Cody, before. You know, and to anybody who's watching, you know, Cody was one of the first people with his type of disabilities that I've ever been able to engage with, become friends with, have a conversation with. Cody, what would you say to people when they see you in the supermarket or when they see you and Monica out? You know, what would you say to them when you see them looking and these types of things?
He said, "Fuck you."
Now, Cody, how was it growing up with this disability? Going to school, doing those things. How was that?
That's a great question, Joe.
He said it was pretty fucking wild.
Can you give us some examples?
He went to Poland for therapy a lot. And you got a couple aids to do what? Get you off? You got a couple aids to get him off.
I love Dirty Cody. Jesus.
He's dirty. He's nasty.
I can tell. I love this guy.
No wonder he got a
fiancé. Mike, he's one of my friends, of course.
Of course. Birds of a feather stick together. You know he's doing filthy shit with that chair.
Cody, how old were you when you first lost your virginity?
Which time, to a disabled person or to a whore?
What did the whore do when they saw you? That I want to know about.
Did you get a discount?
He said, I was really drunk in Chicago.
That's how it usually starts.
True that.
He was drunk and he walked up to her, and then what happened?
Ran her over.
I think your caregiver got it for you, right? Got her for
you. This is just great.
Your caregiver was a pimp. I love this.
Caregiver did? You never
just
there's gonna be a couple fight. Look at this shit.
We got something here. Let's hear it.
A guy tried to get you off first.
Oh, Ron, did you try to get Cody off? What's wrong with you?
Is that how y'all met?
You leave Cody alone.
Is that how y'all met?
Apparently, I gotta watch out for Cody. I mean,
you thought you was doing a damn thing. He's hitting on you.
And so Monica is he the first disabled person that you've dated before?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Definitely the first. I would never have considered it. I don't think before.
And what do your parents think?
They were against it because they thought I was going to be overworked, like taking care of him and stuff. But that's not the way. I mean, I have a lot of help. We have help 7 days a week. Right now, during the pandemic, we have help 6 days a week. But I cover the early morning, and then we have help like 11 to 7, and then I do the evening and the nights. So,
right on.
and so my family is good with it now that everything has gone on and gone well and we've done well together, then now they're okay with it.
Oh,
Right
But
on.
at first they discouraged me against it at first, just because they thought that I would just be, they didn't know Cody, so they thought he was just probably looking for somebody to take care of him. And, you know, so but after they met him and talked to him and stuff like that, then they were more for it.
Yeah, Cody is probably one of the most just nicest, genuine, and very intelligent guys I've met in a long time, you know, and that goes to Mike Moritor also.
Yeah, at the end, I'm going to look for 2 caregivers for you. I might have 2 for you if you need extra help.
Okay, right now we don't, but give us the names because we might need them.
All right, I will.
Right.
I'll send them to Ron to give to you for sure.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
And Monica, for you, what would you say to women out there that you know that also do to give the looks and they the judgments, or any women out there who, like you, would not have considered to even talk to a disabled person? Is there any thoughts that you'd like to give on that?
And one more question on that. One more question on that. And for those women that say they can't find a good man.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they want a baller. They don't want a dude. They want a baller. They want a unicorn.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what she got to say. Go ahead.
And they need to be less shallow and look deeper. You know, look, decide what you want in somebody, not just physically. Basically, Cody can do everything physically that I need done. You know,
I'm sure he can.
I mean, that's not a problem. And you know, his personality is great. I would tell them to not rule it out. I mean, because you can make anything work for you if you and the person, like, your minds are connected and you get along on that kind of a level. Everything else, I think, would fall into play. To me,
Right on.
that's what I would have to say.
Where are you originally from, Monica?
From Wyoming.
Oh, right on. What part of Wyoming?
Gillette, Wyoming. It's a really little town in the northeast corner. About 30,000
Right
people.
I had dated a white supremacist that was from Wyoming, and what is the name of that town?
Of course
Here
you did.
we go. Here we
That
go.
was where I called you from. That was where I called you from, Mike.
I know you did. Your calls are legendary.
Here
Tell
we
them
go.
the story. I want you to tell them the story right now.
So I meet this guy on Grindr. He's very blue collar, and we're trying to meet. And finally, and the first week I was in Salt Lake City, I was on tour. The first week I was there, he couldn't get off work, and so I told him that I got rebooked. I'm coming back out the next week, and so we finally meet, and he's able to get off work late. So I ended up driving out to his place in Evanston, Wyoming. And they have a they have a comedy club there. I can't remember the name right now, but a Wise Guys. And so I think, okay, I'll go to Evanston, hang out with him, then go to the Wise Guys Comedy Club. And so me and him go there. We start to fool around, and that's when he takes off his shirt and he has the swastika and all the white supremacist tattoos all over him. Kind of like you, Cody, just like you, Cody, just not as sexy. And
Of course, Ron's first thought is this guy's hot now. That's his first thought.
Yeah. Like I was saying, when you're having sex and you're wondering what would Malcolm X think,
Ron, go deeper with the story. Go what you told me.
So we start having really, really rough sex. He's into that. And his brother walks in whilst we're having sex in the living room. Okay? Right. And at first, I thought, like, he was having these white supremacists come into the room to kill me. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm kind of knee-deep here. And, and so his brother walks in, and he's like, and so, he jumps up and runs into the bathroom. They start screaming, God damn it, what the hell are you doing in the living room with that shit, man? I don't want to see that. He goes, you should have called me. I didn't tell you. You didn't answer your phone. I left the phone inside the car. I left it in the car. And so we're in this very poor area. I get into my car, and I start driving down the expressway as fast as I can, because where I was at, I didn't have cell phone service,
Yeah, that's real in Wyoming.
Right. And So I call Mike Moritor, who picks up the phone. Again, he trains police officers and everything like that. I call Mike Moritor. I'm like, Mike, I'm on mile marker such and such by the Jimmy Johns.
And I said to him, I said, you better keep driving so they don't hang your ass. It's over for you, bro.
I told Mike, he's like, what's going on? He's like, I was banging a white supremacist and his brother walks in. And Mike goes, hold on, I got to put you on speakerphone. I'm training somebody.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
So we dated for like about a year and a half. Every time I would come out there, we would hang out. And we're into this really rough stuff. And, you know, one time he came out, he may or may not have come out of the bathroom wearing a holster and a 9mm.
Talk about the gun.
Wait. Remember what this show is called, and you think you got problems.
Yeah, you got some problems, Ron.
These are not problems. These are fetishes.
No, they are problems.
Well, this is about Cody. Don't talk about me. What's wrong with y'all?
Now, Cody's thinking your ass got problems.
Yeah, I am.
What did you say? Well, so first of all, what time do we have, by the way, guys?
It's 4:40.
Perfect.
Do longer what?
Cody said he can go longer if you want.
Perfect. My question would be, what would you say, Cody, to other disabled people who see you that want to get into entertainment, that want to put out scripts and these types of things?
Do
it.
That's what's up. Mike,
go.
Jeff, do you guys have any more questions?
No, I mean, I'm fascinated with the dynamic as a couple, like how you rely on each other. I think it's really interesting.
I think it's beautiful.
If this could help you guys, think about, because we creative produce, Jeff and I, think about shooting a documentary with both of you, because what I find fascinating about this is I think it would really open up people's eyes to, you know, how you guys live day to day and how it's like normal. There's really to me, it feels very normal.
It is.
Just being with you for 40 minutes, it's like no big deal.
Don't interrupt. He would like to know if you want to come and shoot it.
Yeah, Jeff and I will talk to you about it like in the next couple of weeks, because I think this is really something. Yeah. Like, it's really an amazing thing, and I think it could really inspire a lot of people.
Yeah, Monica, you just have such you guys both of you have such an interesting story and background.
Yeah.
And the two of you together, I mean, you the love is so apparent, and it's just beautiful to see and to watch. I hope that, you know, my partner that I meet
You ain't meeting nobody, Ron. You should just end it now. It's over for you, man. It's all about Cody. It ain't about your gay ass.
I would hope that I meet somebody that loves me as much as you two love each other, you know? And Mike is just projecting because he wants me to be alone in the same home with him.
And listen, Monica, take this as a compliment. You are really a class act. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. Because most women I can't stand. A minute and I'm out. You are Monica, you remind me of everybody I grew up with. You're like a real love. You really are something.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I grew up in the country. I'm a country boy, and farm girls and country girls are the best. You have a real heart. Like, I could see it. And Jeff and I and Ron are kind of cunty. So it's like when you got on, it was like you just melted me in like 2 seconds.
Aww.
So at the end of the day, what is your guys' end goal in the entertainment field?
Huh?
I didn't quite hear what you said.
I said, what is the end goal in the entertainment field that you want to accomplish?
He would like people to cast real disabled actors instead of people that don't have a real disability. Or Or with a name, just a name, a big name actor instead of somebody that has a real disability. What really makes him mad is in Glass, they did Samuel L. Jackson as Glass and passed him off as having a disability. This is Cody's words. They passed Samuel L. Jackson off as a disabled person, and he doesn't have a disability. And in Cody's opinion, it was just because he's got a big name.
Right.
A lot of times they do that, Monica, is to get the money to actually be able to create the film.
The film, yeah.
That they need the backing to actually shoot it. That's why they do that. I have another friend, Jay Kramer, who I think Jeff and Ron might know, who's quadriplegic, and we'll probably have him on the show too. He does get a lot of roles on TV because I'm shooting a show with the handicap. It's another thing that I'm shooting. And it's interesting because they actually give Jay some stuff because I called him and I asked him about the insurance. And with him, it's not really that much of a problem. But if Cody could sell his film and we could possibly shoot like a documentary with you two, which I think is fascinating, I think he could get to that next level where his handicap would be less apparent. It wouldn't be an issue.
That would be awesome.
What is this?
What's the show that you're shooting, and can Cody be on it? He said
he might be able to be on it once we shoot the pilot. We were supposed to shoot it in the end of March, so we're waiting till the pandemic ends, and then I've got to shoot the pilot, and then we can talk possibly for sure.
Okay.
What is it? Can
Cody read the synopsis?
Not yet.
Okay.
He's probably going to cuss me out.
No, he's gonna run your ass over. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna run you
I'm
over.
going to get ran over.
Cody's gonna run your ass over. And I'll tell you something, Mike. Cody. Mike is only like 4 foot tall, so you can run him over.
You'd be doing me, listen, it'd be a mercy killing. You'd be doing me a favor.
Hey, what would you like people to know from this interview? People looking in, watching. What would you like them to know about handicapped people?
He's normal. He says he's an asshole.
I'm flying.
I think basically that he's just like everybody else, except for he has a physical disability. But, you know, he's just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And wants to be treated like everybody else.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I wanted to have Cody on here is because of how big his heart is. You know, anybody, you know, doing stand-up is always ranked as one of the scariest things to do for people, you know, that in public speaking. And here you have Cody getting up there with his friend and doing stand-up and putting himself out there and being able to laugh at himself and make people laugh and things like that is extraordinarily powerful. And and I don't like people when they say, oh, it's brave and all these things. It's not brave, it's real. He's a human and he's stepping up for himself. And I think that is a beautiful thing. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted people to see that, because the discrimination I saw him get from, you know, from Kenny and the looks when we're out, things like that. You know, I always wondered what it would be like from your perspective. And, you know, you own it, Kenny. You own it. And that's what's really, really beautiful about the whole situation. And then your relationship is just even more beautiful.
Yeah, your relationship is amazing. I mean, I think you guys on camera could change the world in some way.
Yeah, I think that your relationship is more healthy and beautiful than 80% of the people that I know that are in relationships. And for any of my friends that are watching this, yes, I am talking about you, motherfucker.
Well, I'll say
Thank
that.
you very much. That meant a lot to us. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll say that definitely you two give a whole different spin on the handicap, and I don't think it should be called handicap anymore after this interview. I think it should just be a person. Because you know, you guys have regular problems like everybody else. You guys are trying to accomplish things like everybody else. And you guys have to overcome obstacles just like everybody else.
Yeah.
So I totally appreciate you guys being on the show, and thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed this. I didn't know if I was going to. I was really nervous, but I've enjoyed it a lot.
Good.
Had a lot of fun.
I lost you guys for a second. It was a pleasure meeting you both, and you will definitely hear from me in the next month or so. I'll get all your info from Crazy Ron.
Okay.
And real quickly, Cody, any final words?
Any final words? He stuck his foot up and said, "Heil Hitler."
I love it. Hi, Hitler. Hi, Hitler. Cody, can you see my hand? Hi, Hitler. Hi, Hitler.
Well, there goes the Jewish crowd.
To the general public, this has been So You Think You Got Problems. Our wonderful and special guest has been Cody and Monica. I'm Ron Bush.
I'm Mike Viratore. It was a real pleasure to meet both of you.
You as well.
I'm Jeff Keller.
Yep.
And Cody, real quickly, Jeff needs a weave for his hair. And so if you could just, take some of your shavings and send it on down to him, I'd appreciate that.
Hey, here's something we forgot to say. Cody, where can people contact you at if they got something for you?
There you go. Thank you, Jeff. That's why Jeff is amazing.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's all under his name, Cody J. La Scala.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being on. And you think you got problems. Thank you very much.
Monica,
Thank you so much.
Monica from the deepest part of my heart, thank you very much. And I absolutely adore you. Cody, you are my nigga. I love you to death. You're amazing. And thank you for being on our podcast. And me and you, when this pandemic is over, are going to go out and run some motherfuckers over. Fuck them.
And I want to be part of that running over. I want to be part of that whole thing. I'm going to be pushing his chair into somebody I don't like.
All right. Until next week, people. This is.
All right.
And you think you got problems.
So you think you got problems.
You got problems.
I love you all.
He said, "I love you all."
Love you too,
love you too, buddy.
We'll talk to you
Peace out,
soon,
y'all.
brother.
Okay.
All right, now, bye-bye.
Bye.